Hey guys, it's Taylor from Cruise Elite. I wanted to share a cool little lesson with you on the difference between internal focus with exercise versus external focus with exercise. So let's talk about what I mean by that. Internal focus with exercise is essentially when we give someone a cue to feel the muscles that we think are responsible for any movement that we're actually practicing. So for example, if I'm stretching my arm back and I bring my attention to feeling the muscles on the front of my body stretch and maybe feeling the muscles on the back of my body contracting, what I'm actually doing is using an internal focus as a goal when I move, okay? The reverse of this is what we consider an external goal with movement. Instead of focusing on what I feel in the target muscles, I can actually say, okay, this time I want to bring my elbow towards the target behind me, which is the wall. Okay? So we have internal focus with exercise, and then we have external focus with exercise. Now, why is this important? This is big. I need you to stay with me on this. Lots of people are doing mobility work, right? And the goal is range of motion. Well, I want to show you how brains work, because this could literally revolutionize the way that you approach your mobility work, and it can actually provide you some really profound results. So watch this. I've got a laser pointer in my hand that's going to represent the distance that I move, the range of motion. And I'm just going to set myself up here. I'm going to put my laser pointer on. You can hopefully see that on the wall behind me. Okay, and I'm just going to get into like a tall spine position, and I'm going to show you my active range of motion with shoulder extension, but I'm going to be looking straight ahead so that I can't see how far I'm actually going. This is going to be, and I'm going to drive this internally. I'm actually going to shift my attention inward to feeling the muscles that are supposed to be stretching and feeling the muscles that are supposed to be contracting. Okay? And I'm going to be doing this all with internal focus. We're going to see how far I go first, and then we're going to compare that to a different goal, in which case now we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to use an external cue and see if I can go further. Okay, so here we go. I'm looking straight ahead, tall spine position. This is my active shoulder extension. And I'm sort of at that unpleasant stretching feel right now, where I've gone as far as I can. I'm going to try one more time. Okay, that's about as far as I can go without forcing things. And now what I'm going to do is look into the camera lens, because I've got the camera flipped so I can see what I'm doing now. I now see my arm. I see how far I've gone. I see my laser. And I have a visual idea of what's going on. And I can go a ton further when I actually let visual information using this laser pointer guide what I'm doing. Totally weird, right? So what happened? Well, my brain didn't really understand what the task at hand was when I shifted my attention internally to feel the muscles that I wanted to be working. When I shifted my attention more outward and used an external goal that was visually driven by using the laser pointer and looking into the camera to see how far I went, but also remember this, I got to see how far I wanted to go. My brain goes, oh yeah, now I understand the target. Now I understand what you want me to do, and I'm granted permission to do it. This is so important for mobility work. Here's why. What do most traditional mobility practices tell us to do? Oftentimes, especially with static stretching, we are told to focus internally on the target muscles that we want to be stretching. And what we know through research actually is that when we focus internally on a body part that we're trying to stretch, we actually build more intramuscular tension. So that means that if I bring my attention internally with internal focus and the goal is range of motion, I'm actually working against more tension. So the question then in my mind is, could this be the reason why so many people get hurt from static stretching? Because how many times have we seen people bent over stretching their hamstrings? They're focusing on their hamstrings. They're trying to feel their hamstrings. They usually have a grimace on their face as they're doing it too because it's uncomfortable. See, what's happening to a lot of people when they focus internal and try to stretch is they're increasing intramuscular tension. Think about it as your nervous system putting the brakes on, and then they're trying to overcome it, which is a losing battle. But if we can figure out how to do our mobility work using more external goals, we're going to be able to move further. Our brain's going to be able to understand what we want it to do, and then it's going to give us permission to move further. And if the goal is mobility and range of motion, this can be a huge advantage. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson on the difference between internal focus with exercise versus external focus with exercise. This is huge in mobility work. I want you to try this and definitely let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for having a look.